don't be afraid to try everything and anything, because you never know what might interest you. The resources are very easy to come by now, and just try. There's no reason not to be expressing yourself. And the gift of creating something out of nothing is you do create a more beautiful world.
Welcome to Living in 5D with your host, Peter D.
Welcome to Living in 5D. I'm Peter D, your host, and today is really going to be cool because with me is Patty Chapman from Cape Breton in Nova Scotia, as far north as you can get there. It's just fantastic. Patty, could you say hello, please?
Hi, everybody. Nice to talk to you, Peter.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Can you just say a little bit about yourself? Because Patty has been in touch with me recently and has really graciously shared her artwork. And it is really just phenomenal. What struck me is not just the beauty of the artwork, but when she made a comment about when she paints, she can actually open up a portal and feel herself into the portal, into what she calls the Holy Spirit. And I've seen this in her work, and I wanted to share it with all of you. Patty, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about who you are and what your process is?
Yes, my name is Patty Chapman. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada. I've been a lifetime artist. I started creating when I was just a toddler. I grew up in a great family. My parents made sure I had all the art supplies that I could use, and was very, very encouraged to be artistic. Um, and so now, after 50 years of creating, I've been the last 10 years been an art instructor. And my goal is to gift people back their creative confidence. Along the way in lifetime, we often lose our creative confidence or our drive to create, and I see my job as using every opportunity I can to gift people back their creative confidence through painting in this really magnificent medium that I discovered 11 years ago. So that's been my goal, is just to paint and teach as many people as I can. I've taught over 1,000 uh, people for free, and probably another 400 or 500 that I actually was lucky enough to get paid for. So my primary goal has been always to teach for nothing if I can. So
That's kind of nice to be that way and trust that Spirit's going to take care of you. I you mentioned a couple of things that I think are important for me. One of his years and years ago, I was with a friend and he was drawing the most beautiful, beautiful drawing, just sitting there and drawing it. And I said, wow, when did you learn to draw? And he said, same time you did, first grade. I just never stopped.
yeah,
And that really
exactly.
changed my whole perspective on what it is. It's like, the skill was always there. It's just when did you choose to use it or not? And
Right.
and so that was impactful for me. Now, what I find interesting is what you do kind of gets people in touch with their creativity. And the way I understand it, creativity is a direct line to source. That,
Absolutely.
when you're in that open state and stuff is coming from, I used to do it because I'm a rhetorician. I do it with words. I'm like, well, where do these ideas and stuff, words come from? And it's always source. Can you tell me what your experience of creativity is and what it means for you?
Well, when I was a child, my whole creative process was basically learning the skills to be able to copy just about anything. So I became very good sketcher. I was oil painting at 7. So I was very, very much focused on actually creating what I saw around me. When I started painting in this medium, every single piece that I do is completely original, and very rarely there's any forethought put into it. So it's changed my creative process completely from um, actually copying what's around me to creating something that's never been seen before.
So
Um,
when you say there's no forethought that goes into it,
Right.
Because I understand that. I make videos all the time and I keep thinking I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. And the best videos are just when I'm in the zone and not even sure what I'm going to say and it just comes out through me. What's it like for you when you're in the process and there is no forethought and creativity is being expressed in front of your eyes? What's that like for you?
Well, it's very much like being an observer. Um, and almost always when I'm painting, I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm almost always listening to something. So my mind is very engaged, and I am just get into that flow state. And when I'm in that flow state, I can actually pay completely attention to whatever I'm listening to. So it distracts my mind completely. And then I am just whole soul painting, and I just settle in, and I can actually watch myself creating in front of me without having necessarily control of the hands. Now, having
Fun.
said that, I painted thousands and thousands of paintings consciously to create the skill level that's required to be able to get into the zone and watch myself creating. So I did the work, not that it's very hard work. I did the work to have the skill level so that I could automatically. Same as you with the writing. You have the skill level so that you can step back and let the spirit paint through you. So for me, it's comfortable. It's awe. I'm in awe most of the time because I'm creating these beautiful things out of nothing. I have no idea where I just know I'm not consciously creating them. So the Holy Spirit is definitely creating through me, and it just feels um, warm and comfortable, and it's exactly where I need to be. And I can sometimes paint for 3 or 4 hours and not be aware of time passing. Sometimes I can paint for 5 minutes and it feels like I've been painting for an hour. So the sense of time is completely gone when I'm able to get into the zone and make that connection. Then I can just basically sit back and observe what's happening.
So before I go any further, I want to give you a shout out on how to get in touch. Facebook, Wax Dreams on Facebook, all one word, Wax
Yes.
Dreams. That's where you'll be able to find a catalog of Patty's work. I've asked my video editor to be putting some of your paintings and creations up. So you may be seeing them now or have been seeing them. And just let yourself get lost in them because this is what you said that was very interesting to me is that you're actually doing something else, listening to something else, so that you can be distracted enough to let the flow go. I find
Exactly.
that my challenge has been to move charges, to stay present with emotional difficulties so I can let them go. And so one of the things I do is I watch a TV show because I'm watching a show and I'm focusing on it, and that gives permission for my unconscious. So I'll just sit there and I'll be while I'm watching the show and totally enjoying it. And my wife is like, "Ah, doing a lot of work now." And I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much." But then I'll just stay on the show, except for when it gets really big and I have to put my attention on it and give it a little bit of love to let it come out. And then I can go back. But there's something about that distraction you're talking about that makes it easier. I was taught this blessing on behalf of Archangel Michael, and it's a wholeness blessing. You can just put your hands on either side of somebody's heart, high heart, and have the energy cycle through them. And there's a sense when people are resisting it, they're not allowing it to come in. And so usually people do it then standing up, and then you ask them to sit down and they pay attention to sitting down. Spirit flips right in because now they've diverted their attention. So when I'm doing it online with somebody, I say, can you scrunch your shoulders up real tight and then exhale? And so they think they're doing something, but really it's just to engage the mind for just a second for spirit to slip in and come to them. So that's how it works in my life. Uh, can you say more about what happens when you're in that state? You said the Holy Spirit is coming through, and how does that affect your life, both in the moment you're painting and outside the painting, that you spend so much time immersed in the field of the Holy Spirit?
Um, I have a sense of knowing. I came in with a sense of knowing that I wasn't alone. And in 2004, I had a near-death experience, and I came back with the absolute certainty that I was not alone, had never been alone. And if I understood how many souls were conspiring in my favor, I would be shocked. So for the last 18 years, I had a knowing that I was never alone. And so being able to slip into the company of the Holy Spirit and be able to create really beautiful visual works of art effortlessly, seemingly, um, it's such a thrill, because I not only do I have the knowing that I'm not alone, I'm actually in the creative process with the Holy Spirit, and then I get to write my name on the bottom of those paintings. And I've always thought, I don't know. It seems like for the hard work, doing the initial hard work, learning the skill, that it is such a gift for me to actually be able to write my name at the bottom of a painting that I know I did not create alone. And so
That's
it's,
kind of funny. I just want to interject that I was
yeah,
working with a beautiful woman, an artist, a couple of days ago, and who also used wax as a medium. And
really,
yes, and she was sitting there saying, "Well, I'm having this difficulty of signing my paintings because I know sources where they come from." And I told her, I said, "Look, the divine makes me think it's my idea, so I'll pay attention." All right. So
yes,
I got no trouble with it. And you got no trouble signing your name. You've been given a
no,
gift and you say, I got this gift. This is me. I signed it. So what I recommended to her is sign it twice. Sign it with your name and then pick whatever symbol or name you have for your divine and sign it
right.
with that. You can
Well,
give credit if you
I
wish.
said I thought I'd probably start signing them Patty Waxing God.
Ah, yeah. Yeah,
Right?
I signed my book written by Peter de Benedictus and his sacred higher self.
There you go. Yeah.
So that's kind of funny that you're saying that. So when you're in that flow state and you have this gift, it's a beautiful thing. You're there. How does that affect your life when you're not painting?
Um, well, I have a very amazing life. I've created a very amazing life for myself, and uh, all of it, the whole basis of my whole life has been to be the best version, the kindest version of a human that I knew how to be possible. So I spent my life working with special needs kids and disabled adults. So I really did spend my entire career doing bedside care in service. So I have a sense of um, my own divinity, shall we say, because I've been spent my entire life in with the intention of being the best version of myself. And I've always said that, I'm repping God here. If I'm talking to you, if I'm having a conversation, I'm repping God. And I take that very, very seriously. And I've done a tremendous amount of personal work. 11 years ago, my beautiful husband died of cancer, which was a huge tragedy in my life. But he left me an absolute crapload of money. And so I spent 4 years traveling around the world, studying with all the teachers that I'd always wanted to study with, Wayne
Nice.
Dyer and Carolyn Mason, Abraham Hicks. And so I had this magical opportunity to literally travel the world and study with all of the teachers that I resonated with. Joe Dispenza, I spent almost my entire inheritance just traveling and learning and growing, and
Cool.
all of that has created who I am. It's in my paintings, it's in who I am as a person. It's this constant drive to be the best version of me that I can be.
You know,
um,
what I like that I'm hearing is you keep saying the best version of you. And to me, that sounds like you're saying, how can I express the God source that I am externally, which I think you will agree is your best version of you. And,
Absolutely.
and so I really jam on that because I resonate with what you're saying. And the two takeaways I'm getting from what you shared so far is you're happy and you're in service. And I think
Yes.
a lot of people, for me, the highest level of realization is service. And you don't do service just to do service. I mean, you do, but if you hate it and you are not clear, then you're just going to create more crap in your life. But once you become God realized and you realize that you are the expression of source, this is how it works for me. And I am clearly letting source out. There's nothing I can do but service because
Exactly.
that is source flowing through me. And then, of course, I'm happy. And then, of course, I get more goodies because as you give, so you receive. And it's just all
Mhm.
kind of works that way. And so it went from all platitudes from when I was young to a really embodied lifestyle that's full of joy. And what I love about talking with you, Patty, is it's not just that you have a lifestyle where you're happy and content and created a beautiful place, but you can express it and other people can look at it both when they look in your eyes and when they look at your art.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. And I think that my art definitely has been made to share, mostly because I know I'm not necessarily painting it for me. So if someone, these paintings are painted for the world through through me with the Holy Spirit. So there may be something in some of my work that really is meaningful, and touches you, makes you feel, it all makes you feel good. There's nothing down or depressing. It's all beautiful, bright colors and patterns, and um, so it all makes you feel joyful and happy. And I've been able to give people the skill that they need to be able to do very similar creations, to what I'm doing. And
Let's talk a little bit
the,
about that if we can, because it's interesting to me. Because first of all, what I see you doing is channeling, right?
yeah,
I'm a channeler who does this, but my background's rhetoric. I was a public speaker, right? Speech
yeah,
coach, right? I know people who are musicians who are channelers, and you can
yes,
feel in their music the uplift, the blessing coming through. You do it through the visual medium, which is
yes,
super, super cool because you get to look at it. And
yeah,
so you're channeling, and you're saying that when you work with people, they can develop those skills, right? And start
definitely.
to have that own expression. Can you speak a little bit about what it's like? What would you recommend to somebody who's just watching the show and just picks up the idea, ooh, I want to get more in touch with source. I want to be a channeler, and art seems like a medium for me to do that with. What would you tell them?
Well, don't be afraid to try everything and anything, because you never know what might interest you. So, and now we live in a world where art supplies, you can literally go to the dollar store and get most art supplies now. So it's very rarely now about not having the resources. The resources are very easy to come by now. And what I would suggest is just try. If you can, better if you can find, there's so much instruction now. Like, you don't need to find a teacher in person now. You can go any medium that you can think that you want to try, you can find instruction for it online. So there's no reason not to be expressing yourself. And the gift of creating something out of nothing is you do create a more beautiful world. The world is more
Hmm.
beautiful for every
Let's
piece of
just
artwork that I create.
let me just interrupt and say that the gift of creating something out of nothing. There you are, you're claiming your creating power and you understand that your creation is beauty. I just wanted to celebrate that for a second. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm an
Yeah, no
interrupter.
problem.
And that was just so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. This particular medium that I found, uh, working with melted wax is something very different than working with oil or acrylic, because the time process for painting is much shorter. You can imagine the wax melts and dries again very But the thing is, the process of this particular medium is I'm taking something in a solid form, turning it into a liquid form, back into a solid form, but completely transformed.
Oh,
So
you're an alchemist.
it's I'm an alchemist. That's exactly right. I'm actually changing form, and there's so much movement when you're actually painting. Like, I'll just show you here. So this is actually the iron, and all of this, almost all of these paintings are actually painted with the face of the iron, the side of the iron, the edge of the iron. So there, it's an
I
amazing little
can't even
science
imagine.
experiment. It's
I just
very
can't
fun.
even imagine
Yeah, I
painting with
know.
an iron.
It's definitely a freak show. And the thing is, it's so because everybody is interested in it. So I just recently started teaching locally. So I'm teaching at the community center. And, I had a class the other day. I had a 5-year-old and a 75-year-old in the same class,
Wow.
a couple of different families. And I'm like, how many people get to teach a medium completely across age levels, and everybody's basically a beginner, so everybody's working at the same level. It's just so interesting, and I've been so fortunate to take these opportunities and this particular medium, because basically I'm using primarily Crayola crayons for most of my work. It's very
Wow.
inexpensive, so I can afford to teach for nothing, because
Beautiful.
once I have the equipment is it's not expensive, but it is an expense to have the iron and the stylus that you paint with. But after that, you're dealing with cardboard, Bristol board, and crayons. So it actually only cost me maybe $2, $3
Wow.
tops to teach somebody. So I can afford to do that. My husband left me enough money that the first 1,000 students he definitely paid for, and paid for all the supplies. And now the money just comes. People give me
What I've
donations.
learned, this is what I've learned is that, you know, the more I try to give away spiritual teaching, the more spirit says to me, Peter, I'm going to give you everything you can handle, everything you
Absolutely.
can allow, because you're busy teaching everybody. We're going to give you all the tools. And then, of
Yes.
course, the flow is created just like you're talking about. So this is a formula for abundance. You think you're watching a program about art and painting. This is a formula for abundance that Patty is sharing here. And I just want to acknowledge that, and hopefully you'll drink that in.
Yeah.
Remember, you can take a look at her artwork, get in touch through Wax Dreams, all one
Yes.
word, Wax Dreams on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Patty,
all of
go
sorry,
ahead.
Peter, all of my work has no watermarks on it. So it's all good digital copies that are on the Facebook page. You're more than welcome to download them, use them as a ringtone. I know lots of people download them and actually get them made into posters. And I do that completely for free, because, these images have been gifted to me. So I want as many people as possible to enjoy the images. So you're welcome to go on there. There's several thousand paintings that I've done over the years, and you're welcome to help yourself to them. But I'd love you to just leave me a note to say hi, because I love talking to new people. So
Well, yeah, I can understand there's going to be a lot of connections coming forth from
I
this.
hope so.
So that's at Wax Streams on Facebook. So,
Yeah.
Patty, in another couple of minutes, we're going to get into a transmission, because I've been gifted the ability to tap into the field, hold the vision of what it is that I can focus on, and then everybody who joins in that field gets that imprinted on them.
Right.
So in a few minutes, we're going to put up one of your pieces of artwork, and we're going to do a little bit of a meditation to get into the oneness field and allow the imprint, the energetics that you experience of being in connection with source, creativity, getting to your Holy Spirit. And just so people can experience that. And, wow, if you can get that out of a video, imagine when you take the time to go be your own creator and start to produce what makes your heart sing. So we'll be doing that. So before we do, is there any other message you'd like to give to people?
be nice. Make that your priority. Be nice in every faction of your life. Like that is how we're going to move forward. We're going to get a lot nicer as a society. And so I'm doing my part to be kind and be nice and share the gifts that God has graced me with. So find out what you're good at and find a way to use it to serve humanity, because it all makes such a difference. It all makes such a difference.
Beautiful. Thank you. So here we go. I'm gonna, if everybody who's viewing, and Patty, if you care to join, we're gonna do a meditation to get into oneness. And what I'd like you to do is imagine a column of light directly from the central sun, from your source, from your Holy Spirit, coming in through the top of your head. You can actually feel it tingle. And you're going to breathe it into your heart. And as you exhale, you're going to exhale to everybody that's with us, everybody viewing this video, no matter when, and everybody on the spirit side who's here to help us. And then you're going to inhale it back in from everybody to your heart. And then for the duration of the song, you're going to go in and out from your heart to everybody, including all the spirit that's with us and all the people watching this in the future. So let's begin by, first of all, inviting your sacred higher self to be here. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, your source, your divine, whatever you call God. Yeah. Now your team, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, your lineage, please invite them to be with you. And Gaia, beautiful Mother Earth who supported us through all this, allowed these beautiful physical expressions. And now we put out an open call to all beings of high frequency and service to love and light. If you are aligned with our intent that everybody viewing this is imbued with their connection to their Holy Spirit and is creative and releases that connection to their source through their creativity, we ask you to be with us now. Now, if you care to, please repeat after me. I am my I am presence. And I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. And now, just breathe in from the central sun. Now, from this field of oneness, please allow that you and everyone watching this video has opened up a direct connection to their source, to their Holy Spirit, and has received the abilities to channel that into their artwork and their creative expression. That their creativity, that your creativity is your expression of source. And you are feeling that in spades as that ability is resonant and grows within you. And so it is. We are so grateful. Hold gratitude, look at the artwork, hold gratitude, and just let spirit do its work within you. So lovely to be in that energy field with you, Patty. Thank you so, so much for holding the space you held and sharing your artwork. Can you please share your internal experience while that was going on? That will help affect other people's
Mm.
unconscious reception of this.
So when I was listening to the music and watching, first of all, I have an inner child that wants to dance all the time. So I'm a very small child dancing in the middle of the vortex with my magic wand. And then as I'm playing, I actually was shown how I painted that painting. So I actually went through step by step in actually how I physically did that painting, because I wasn't really sure how I actually did that painting. But so I was actually taken through the entire painting process again. So I saw exactly how I moved the lines and how I created it, which was very cool. At all the same time I'm playing in it, right? This
Nice.
playful,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, here's to everybody dancing in your vortex with your divine, because that's what your paintings are, they're vortexes. And also to understanding, to me, if you were shown the step-by-step process, that means that that process is being imprinted to those of us in the field who joined in the meditation, which is
right.
very cool. I just went to my happy place because that's what I do with these kinds of things. And my creativity is an open flow, and I'm so happy. And so Spirit was just showing me the numbers of people, and there will be many of you watching this who will just have a boost in your creativity because you're just going to allow a little more and dance a little more and be happy a little more and go, wow, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. That
I'm
is one of the
excited.
most joyous things that I get to do, is I get to have people look at something that they've created and they go, I actually created this. And I'm like, yes, I tricked you into it. I can
Yeah.
trick anybody into doing a beautiful painting, which is, I mean, that's the whole technique and the fun and the magic about it, right?
Out of the way
So,
and letting it be beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So our guest today is Patty Chapman. You can contact her and view this beautiful art, which she gives for free at Wax Dreams on Facebook. Wax Dreams on Facebook. And Patty, do you have any closing message before we sign off?
Well, I just want to thank you, Peter, for inviting me to come and speak today. It's very nice to be able to share the things that I have created. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. And you deserve it because not only is your work beautiful, but you share it. And
Yeah,
that is really for me the litmus test of where somebody is at with their spirituality. And so the program is Living in 5D. Hopefully you've got another glimpse of what it's like for someone who's allowed a 5D aspect and ability into their life. Bring it into yours. Please like this, share it if you find inspired. Put your comments below. That's really what's most important is the interaction and what you understand. You're wise. You've got stuff to share. I'd love to read that. And yeah, and if you know people who are beautiful in their abilities, whether it's creative arts or just, all the ESP psychic abilities or whatever it is that you think is a 5D ability. If you know them, shoot me an email. Let's get some of those people on the show, even if it's you. Yes, especially if it's you.
yeah.
All right, you stay blessed. Thank you all. Thank you, Patty, and
Thank you.
everybody. Many, many blessings to you.